This one is called Teach Them Well and Let Them Lead the Way. First of all, let me start by saying I dedicate this work to my beloved grandmother that I lost last July. Her hand is always on my shoulder. She loved little babies. Let me repeat. She loved little babies. It didn't matter if they were black, brown, yellow, white, green, blue. She loved all babies. Though I know for a fact she had an issue with people of orange hue. From her, I learned that babies are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. In 2012, right before Christmas, a deranged young man with a gun walked into an elementary school and killed 20 babies. Children between 6 and 7 years old. This deeply disturbed her and deeply touched me. There could be nothing more innocent in this world than a baby going to school to try and learn. We, as parents and those who are educators, can't be more thrown than to think about our children, our charges from God, to be massacred in their classrooms, where we sent them to learn and to be safe. So this deranged young man stole innocence from this world on that day, and to double down on the insanity of that act, there are people in this country who refuse to believe this event was real. And worse yet, there are those who personally profit from keeping you from feeling what my grandmother felt, what I felt, what I hope you felt when those innocent souls violently transitioned from this life. As you sit here shaking your heads, feeling transactional pain from that memory, allow me to tell you that at that very moment when the totality of the event was tallied, I doubted the existence of God. How could God allow something like that to happen? Well, I regained my faith in time and know that not only is there a God, but there's a heaven. And in that kingdom, my ancestors are all there now. Well, most of them. Looking down at me and keeping me steadfast in my beliefs. But if you believe in God, and you should also believe in the devil. The devil is just as real, y'all. He is real, and though it may seem like it, he does not live at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. That man is not the devil. He's just a puppet of Satan. In this country, Satan is not a person. He is the manifestation of all the evil that is the American gun lobby, the NRA. When in December of 2012, those minions of Satan stood fast and tried to tell you that massacre didn't happen, and there was no need to try and make it hard for any deranged person or persons to get their hands on weapons of mass murder and ammo to make them more deadly. They convinced me, in this country, this land that I love, this country 'tis of thee, this country didn't care about babies. Babies who are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. It was a song verse, not a way of truth in this country. In February of this year, on Valentine's Day, in Florida, another deranged young man with a weapon of mass destruction walked into a high school he once attended and shot and killed his former classmates and teachers. And once again, we were told, there's nothing that can be done. Gun rights trump, marinate on that word, trump the rights of babies to go to school and be safe. I once again shook my head and said to myself, when is enough going to be enough? Thank God my grandmother wasn't around to once again fret over another of these tragedies. Politicians pontificated, pundits bloviated, families mourned, the media lamented, and once again prepared for the next tragedy to happen. But guess what? Children are our future. Seems we did teach them well, and now they are leading the way. How many of us, myself included, have seen things happen in our lives, in our neighborhoods, in the malls, and lamented, these kids today, geez, what will our future be like with this coming generation taking over? You see, we are the future, our forebears, expected to make changes happen. And to some degree, we have done major things. But we've also failed them because we did not prepare the next generation to make things better. Or didn't we? The term "it takes a village" has fallen away as social media has made everyone less social. Ready-made meal restaurants have made family mealtime less family-oriented. And we have all, to some degree, abdicated the responsibility to teach them well and let them lead the way. But human nature is at its core nature. And as the man said in the movie Jurassic Park, nature will find a way. Social media and its evils has been utilized by this group of babies to create a movement, a powerful movement that reached not only across this nation, but around the world, and called upon caring adults to join them and show the minions of Satan and that fool in the White House who left town that day that they will not die away quietly this time. They will not go quietly into that good night. These babies, this group of children who were 10 and 11 years old when Sandy Hook happened, and some of them who were not yet born, stepped into the light and yelled out from the podiums and the platforms at marches and rallies, "We will be the change that you refuse to make yourselves." I could not have been more proud than to see most networks and the world is now going to have to take notice. That is, until I found out my own son was in D.C. for the march himself, refusing to be the tragedy of these times. My heart welled with pride and my resolve was strengthened because these babies, these offspring of our efforts, this representation of the future to come, is now teaching us well and showing us how they believe the way.